Tigweave. I'm Una from theharpteacher.com and I'm going to give you a quick little introduction to the parts of harpsicle harp. The model I'm using is a Harpsicle. The first part is the kind of front section of the triangle of the harp. So this has 4 different names. The first is the column, another word for it is pillar. Then there's variations on that word, the front pillar or the fore pillar. And then in Irish we call it the lámhchrainn. The next part is the sort of other side of the triangle that is the harp, and that is called the sound box, or sometimes the body, and in Irish we call it the com. The sound box, it has a front, it has a side, it has a back. The front of the sound box has a particular name. It's the part that you can do cool percussive effects on when you're doing funky South American music, and we call it either the sound board or the sounding board or the harmonic table. In Irish we call it the fum chlór. While we're on the subject of the sound box, I'm just going to show you the back of it, okay? So as you can see at the back of the sound box we have a very sophisticated hole, and do you know what it's called in very, very complex technical language? The hole. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't have a big posh name, it's just called the hole. And the reason we have that is actually just so we can get access to the strings. Okay, so you are going to putting your little hand, your love in there, and you're going to be changing strings at some point in your future career as a harpist. Woo! Harps that sit on the floor generally have little feet at the bottom. The harpsicle doesn't need that because we're going to put it on our lap using a stick or on a tripod stand. At the moment I'm using a stick. Ta-da! And in Irish I just call that a bata. The top of the triangle of the harp is called the neck, or a variation on that, the curving neck, or the term I've most heard, the harmonic curve. In Irish we call it an bhfuin, which is pretty much a direct translation of the neck. Let's talk about the excitement and all of the crazy stuff that's going on the harmonic curve. Very first thing is this row of pins on the top. Okay, so each of these pins is a tuning pin for the string attached to it. So for example, with this red string, it goes up the harp and then it's attached to this tuning pin at the very top. And when I put a tuning key on that and I make it go right or left, the string will go up or down and therefore get tuned. So that's a tuning pin. If you follow that down, you'll see a little pin beneath that. Okay, can you see it there? And every single string has one of these as well. So that's called either a rest pin or a bridge pin, and in Irish a buran taka. And what that does is it puts the string at the appropriate angle so that it will enter the sharpening lever correctly. Okay, so you don't ever have to work with bridge pins. Okay, then we have this exciting thing down here. Okay, so that little thing that I can flip up or down is a lever, a sharpening lever in full, and let's see how it works. This red string's a C, I'm gonna pluck that C, it sounds so like a C, yay. But then I'm gonna put up the lever at the top of it, and I pluck the same string and it sounds like this, C sharp. Oh my god, hear the way that it just raised a semitone. That's a posh word for half a step in musical terms. Let's see if we put it down. Oh, it changes again. Wow, that's so exciting, isn't it? Over the crack, let's just do it once more. Oh my god! And therein lies both the magic and the limitation of a harp with levers. Once I have stopped playing with my sharpening levers for an hour, I will follow the string down. And by the way, I'm just going to state the obvious. These things here are strings. And in Irish we call them taida or shranga. And what happens is that they go down to the sound box, and at the sound box they enter by way of a little hole. So unsurprisingly, because the string is going into a hole, this device is called a string hole. It also has another name, which is an eilish, or an Irish súil, plural súil. While we're talking about the harmonic curve, I should probably mention this section here, okay? So the harmonic curve is the name for the whole thing, but if you want to talk about just this part, you call it the shoulder, or rather confusingly, the knee block. No idea why it's called a knee block? Harp makers, feel free to email me and tell me. I personally like the name shoulder because, unsurprisingly, the shoulder sits on your shoulder. The next thing I want to demonstrate to you, I actually have a bit of difficulty with, but for a good reason. So in my experience, one of the best thing about harpsichord harps is that they hardly ever have strings break. Okay, and the great news is that I don't have any broken strings in my house at the moment. The crappy news is that I want a broken string because I want to show you how at the end of each string there's this tiny little bit of leather or material or fabric of some description which holds it stout against the eyelet, sule, string hole, and also I think stops friction happening between the string and the wood and therefore prevents buzzes. Now I have a different type of string here, and at the bottom of this is something that fulfills pretty much the same function. It's just a little bit of plastic, can you see it there? And the official term for that is spline, S-P-L-I-N-E. So if you want to appear really knowledgeable, you can be like, oh yeah, I'm just tuning my harp. Oh, excuse me, let me just find my spline. And everybody will be like, oh what? This is your tuning key, my friends. Easier to lose than a sock. More frequently lost than socks. I don't know where they go, but they go somewhere. Anyway, this is going to ensure your mental health. So hold it dear to your heart, okay? And when you have found it, go on to the next tutorial where I will show you what the string names are, and then we will be able to tune, and then you're going to learn how to play, and it's going to be amazing. So go to theharpteacher.com for your next tutorial. Mahu, Salam.